Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. My name is Clarissa and I'm your life and wellness coach and also a beauty expert. I am so happy and grateful that you are here. We'll be discussing all things health and wellness, feeling empowered, and loving yourself more while connecting your mind, body, and spirit. Always know that you can manifest whatever you desire for your greater well-being in your life because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Hey friends, hope you're having a good day. I am feeling just blessed and I'm happy to be here with you guys. Today we're going to talk a little bit about calorie density, okay? A lot of people are familiar with counting calories. You may have heard little things about calorie density, but what is it, right? It basically is the measure of how many calories are in a given weight of the food. And this is very important because depending on the choices in the food that you're making, it will affect your health and your weight. So it's good to aim for foods that have a low calorie density compared to high calorie density so that it can help you feel fuller longer. Because your eating patterns can lead you down the path to gaining that excess weight and then also affecting your health as well, okay? And then if you are just counting your calories, it's just pretty unsustainable, to be honest. So we want to focus on that quality food, right? And so a lot of times the higher density food is going to be that processed food. So we don't even really have to think about the calories. So if we're trying to eat more whole foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, oats, those non-starchy veggies, it gives you that fiber, right? And it's so good for us. And these foods naturally have a lot of water content in them, right? So even if you are not used to eating your plants, a lot of times we do not eat enough of fruits and vegetables on our plate. A lot of times that is one of the issues we face because we're not getting the nutrients, because we're not eating our veggies. Like our whole plate might be a steak and then there might be a baked potato. The baked potato itself is not bad. It's what you put on the baked potato. Okay, so if you had your potato and you have like a pound of butter on it, some bacon bits and all the things, you'd be like, man, this is good. And you getting down, but you have like this one little half a piece of broccoli on your plate that's like a garnish to make the plate look pretty or something like that. That's not doing it. You need to just maybe adjust that up a little bit, okay? So maybe try 90% of your plate. That might seem a little drastic if you're just starting out, so even maybe 70. But the more you get, the better. Even having like starting with one meal a week or like one meal a day, for instance, having it be lunch, having that be a plant-based meal, okay? Or something that the majority of their plate is mostly vegetables or like fruit as like your sweet item. So if you have like a sweet tooth, just swapping that out for some blueberries or something like that, just to get you going, just to put that fiber, those nutrients, everything you need into your body. And it actually winds up filling you up so you're not going to feel hungry, okay? So a lot of times when you're eating the processed food, it's lacking that fiber and that water. It's all like stripped from their food, so you wind up sometimes overeating. You're not really eating the right nutrient-dense food, so you wind up overeating, which then leads to the weight gain, okay? So if we just, instead of counting calories, switch our mind up a little bit and just be like, I'm just going to try to opt for more calorie-dense foods, then you don't actually need to count your calories, right? Because then naturally the food is going to be lower in calories, but also giving you what your body needs. It's going to be like thankful and happy. They'll be like, oh my gosh, got this fiber, got all these proteins, got all these things. I feel so good. Because fiber will also keep you full, and then you wind up not needing to eat as much. You don't wind up overeating, and then it also winds up lowering your cholesterol. A lot of times what might happen is animal and processed food does not have the fiber you need, right? So you wind up eating more calories. See that sugar and that flour. You just winds up eating more food because your body's still searching for it, okay? It just winds up being calorie rich and nutrient poor. And we need to just flip that around and get more nutrients into our body, okay? And that's how that weight starts creeping up on you. So if you're working long hours and then you go home and you just grab something to eat, right? You'd be like, I'm just going to make this really quick, or I just don't have time. I'm just going to get this takeout or whatever it is. Because a lot of times you don't even know what's in your food when you're going to the restaurants. Another reason why it is good to cook at home, because you actually know what's in your food, just taking the time to prepare it. And if you got a meal prep, do whatever it is that you need to do just to make sure that you kind of just have some food set aside so that you're not grabbing and run, right? Doing that grab and go, you just grab whatever's convenient, a snack, and then it's like you don't know what's in it. Or if you're in a restaurant, sometimes you don't know what's in it. They could be gorging your food and just all kinds of things just to give it that layers of flavor, compared to when you're cooking at home, you actually know what's in it. So when you're eating that processed food, you're counting these calories, but then you wind up being overweight, adding extra weight, which then affects your health because you wind up eating more, okay? So we have this water that's bound to the food. It helps you feel full. So fiber is good, right? Even if you want to say stop eating sugar per se, fruit is good. It's natural. And sometimes not even that, we don't know how to cook right. For instance, so if you're used to eating out a lot, you're just used to eating foods with excess salt and excess sugar and excess fat in it, so that when you're eating whole foods, your palate might have to adjust to it. It might take you a few days or something like that, and that's okay. It's just that a lot of times we're just used to eating that way, so that whenever we're eating something fresh, we don't like it, or because we're used to eating some things that are like overly saturated with things that aren't good for us. So just give yourself that time to readjust. Like, for example, if you're used to eating a lot of candy and then you eat something really sweet that's a fruit, you might not think it's sweet. But if you consistently keep eating the fruit in place of the candy, then you will taste the sweetness of the sweetness of the fruit, because it's natural sugar. It's nature's candy is what it is. So just give yourself the chance to enjoy the food, because honestly, for lifelong weight management without hunger, it's just better to look at calorie density of your food, your whole foods, all right, compared to just counting calories, because it can also drive you crazy counting calories all the time. What do you want to do? Do you want to relax, or do you want to whip out a notepad and plug food into a calculator? And then your body changes all the time. We have hormones. There's just so much going on, and it's just better to just give our body what it needs, because you have to just know so much going on in order to know how many calories you need. And then depending on what you're eating, portion sizes and all those things, it's just kind of hard to keep track of that. Plus, it's just not healthy. So just because you could sit there and have 500 calories of broccoli, I'm just going to say broccoli, 500 calories of processed food, then there could be 500 calories of oil as well. And it's all going to hit your body differently, okay? So the plants, the broccoli, will fill you up and give you what you need, compared to the processed food where you're still going to be hungry and you're going to be wanting to eat more of it. Then it can go to your belly, go to the hips, go all the places. Not saying we curves are good, okay, ladies, curves are good. But, when it starts overflowing from processed foods, it looks a little different, all right? But, we can handle that. And then also, it clogs your arteries up. Just all the things, affects your cholesterol, your blood sugar. And then if the 500 calories of oil, it's just your body isn't even processing that as anything. So it's just calories just sitting there, okay? So if you ate some fried food, it's just extra, all right? It's just sitting there. And you don't even have to think about it as, I'm just going to stop eating this and stop eating that, because that might stress you out too. And we don't want that. So just think of it as, I'm going to add on more of something. So today at lunch, I'm going to add on more vegetables in my plate, right? So when I'm packing my lunch at home, I'm going to make the bigger portion the vegetables that I have in my fridge. Maybe I have some kale that I whipped up, or some broccoli, or whatever it is, and then make the smaller area, if you want to have animal protein, make that the size of the animal protein, right? Because we know it's not supposed to be bigger than say the palm of our hand. Sometimes we're just eating too much of it, right? Especially if we want to work on being a little bit more healthy, reducing the animal products. I don't say you have not to eat any of it unless you want to. You can do that one meal where it's like meatless Mondays, and you just do Monday, and you will be amazed at how good you feel. Okay, guys, you just be amazed at it. But if you need to start out with one meal, then you do that. You take it slow. You do whatever you need to do. Just feed your body all that goodness. So whenever you are hungry, Eat until you're comfortably full. So you don't have to stop eating at a certain point. If you want to keep eating slowly, making sure that you chew your food, just eat until you're full. Don't starve yourself, don't stuff yourself. Just being mindful when you're eating, just giving yourself those extra minutes just to get it in. You could start your meal with a salad, or start it with some fruit. Get your fruit in there, okay? Try not to drink your calories. So vegetables are going to be your lowest in calorie density, and then the fat and the oil are going to be the highest. So your vegetables, your fruits are going to be lower compared to sugars, right? And that includes honey and things of that nature too. Sugar is sugar. So vegetables and fruit will be between 60 to about 400 calories per pound, compared to your breads and your muffins and your sugars and all your baked goods and all those things will be a lot higher, about 900 to a couple thousand, right? And so, and then I think oil is even about 4,000. And so you can see the very difference of them, right? So it's not even we need to count the calories. You just look at the quality of the food that you're eating and look at the density of the food and getting that good fiber in your body so that water binded with that food can help keep you full. Because, a lot of times I work with women and they tell me that they feel hungry and they're tired. It's because they're not eating food, or when they are eating, they're eating the wrong kind of food, right? There's not good or bad food per se, but there's some food that's a much better choice, right? If you have an option, right? Choose the other option. Okay, so sometimes people just don't want to eat it. So you could look at a menu and you see there might be vegetables on there, but you would just not order them, right? You would just not go. When you go into the store, there's this whole section shopping around the perimeter of the store, and there's this big produce section in there. Try to fill your cart up with that as much as possible, compared to going in the aisles and getting all the boxes and everything that's pre-made. It has all the preservatives. Because if you cannot pronounce what's on that box, you should not be eating it. It's all kinds of chemicals and just things in there that we do not know of to keep that food there fresh that long. If you have to go to the grocery store every few days, that is okay. You will live longer, and that's what we want, right? So just making those adjustments, so if you have to feel like you can't buy this one thing over here, that's going to be instant gratification. That's going to be a couple of minutes to buying this fresh produce over here. Then that's a choice that you have to make. All right. You have to just figure out what's more important to you, right? There was a 2007 report from the American Cancer Institute and the World Cancer Research Fund, but they recommend that we lower our average calorie density of the American diet to less than 567 calories per pound. That's not 560 calories, when you're eating your food. So that pretty much means eating a whole foods way of life, right? A whole food, more plant-based when you think about it, because that leaves us with unrefined, unprocessed fruit, veggies, starchy veggies, and intact whole grains and legumes. And that's without all the salt, sugar, and all the fat and oil. So you can eat a potato, but what you put on the potato, how you eat the potato is what makes the difference, right? You can eat the broccoli, but are you gouging it with cheese? You know what I mean? So that's the difference. Your health is key, right? A lot of our diseases are preventable or reversible. A lot of them are. There's a lot of lifestyle diseases out there that's killing us. Just taking these extra steps and then you'll feel amazing, right? It always hurts when you or someone you love gets a diagnosis, right? But let's try to prevent that by looking at the calorie density of their foods, not counting the calories, completely different things. And when you break it down, it's whole foods, eating more plants on our plate, reducing the processed foods, okay? It's just that your palate is so used to maybe eating all that sugar, eating on that salt, eating on that fat, because sometimes we're raised like that. For instance, people might say such and such diabetes runs in our family. Like a lot of people might have type 2 diabetes, right? That can be reversed or prevented. Even if you have a gene that's there, you do not have to activate it. What you do and how you eat promotes it, right? So your nutrition and your lifestyle will pull the trigger, or it will stop you and send you in the other direction, okay? And that's ultimately the goal. So basically just try to add more variety on your plate. Just try to eat more quality food, okay? It's just all about that, because sometimes we're just not getting enough of our vegetables. We're not getting enough of that calorie dense food. It will help you. You know, the more you do that, the more you naturally lose weight without even worrying about it. It'll just be a side effect, and then your energy will be good. Your health will start improving, all the things, guys. All right, so I hope this helped you. And please leave me a written review. Let me know any questions you have, how you feel. And also, if you would like to decrease your sugar cravings because you feel like they are taking over sometimes, there is a free guide I have where you could go to bit.ly/craving fix and download that, and it'll be right to your inbox. And also, there is a group on Facebook where you're free to come join us, and that is bit.ly/wellbeing group. All right, guys? And I will talk to you soon. Until next time.
If you like my mommy show, leave her a review. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for coming by and listening. And don't forget to subscribe to wherever your favorite place to listen to your podcasts are. And if you are on iTunes, I would love it if you would leave me a written review. It means the world to me, and it helps other people's out as well. You never know who will benefit from what you have to say, because your thoughts matter. Thank you for taking the time to come by. Until next time, love and light.